it's really cool to get you on this platform, man. Obviously, I've had the opportunity and the blessing to connect with you a number of times. First starting with Indie Soul Saturdays. I don't know if you remember the show, but
Yeah, yeah,
I know, obviously I've had a number of opportunities and blessings to be able to connect with you and, talk about your albums or your projects and whatnot. And then I know that you and I, we connected maybe about 2 to 3 years ago for one of your last projects, which was really cool. So when Tangi reached out, the first thing I said was, okay, well, yeah, it makes sense. We've connected in the past, but then the station that I do a show for, they they have been like bugging me, like begging me, like get Calvin back on, get Calvin back on, get Calvin back on. So that's kind of where Saturday comes in at. But this podcast that I'm doing, man, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and the whole premise of it is to kind of give those flowers, like to be able to say thank you
yes, sir.
to the people who I feel have been silently or vocally, instrumental in my career and the things that I've been able to do out here in media. And like, I love media. I love being able to connect with artists and do these interviews and obviously help them to really spotlight themselves. I don't think that artists like you really get enough of, I guess, the publicity and kind of the recognition that you really deserve and whatnot. So that's what today is for. Really,
Okay.
just to say thank you, man, and to have you, obviously talk about your background, how how you got started, how you got to where you are now, and then I know that pretty soon you are going to be having a new project coming out.
Yes.
So this will be an opportunity for you to really talk about that as well, man. But thank you for everything that you do in this industry, man. Like, I really, really appreciate people like you and having like the opportunity to connect, not even just once but like multiple times, and
Yes, sir.
being able to feel like you actually know the person
Right.
and that
Right.
sort of thing. And
Right.
it helps when you know the music and you follow the music. And I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff and like your collaborations in the past and
Right.
all of that stuff. But I'm tremendously grateful to you, man. Like, I love this. I love this business. I love media. I love talking. So
Thank
as you can
you.
tell.
Appreciate, appreciate you.
So obviously, for the people who are going to be watching this or listening to this, and they're not necessarily so familiar with your background, kind of talk about the very beginning. Like, I kind of go back to the New Jersey Drive soundtrack, but how did you really pop into this?
Uh, well, yeah. If you go back for to the New Jersey Drive, that was kind of my foot in the door. I was with this group called Undercover.
Right.
That was back in 1995, actually.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that dates you, but hey, date me, let you know I've been in the game for a long time. You understand what I'm
I
saying?
mean, that just let us know that just lets us know more of the professional that you are, and the fact
Yes,
that, like, this business and the
absolutely.
things that you're doing, and that longevity like speaks volumes, man, because there's so many people who don't make it past the first single,
That's true.
let alone the first album.
That's right.
And here we are 25, 26, 27 years later, because I was in my first year of college when New Jersey Drive dropped.
Hey.
So I guess it's dating me too.
But it's all good. You know what I mean? You know, everything need a time stamp to know how far you can go, how far as how long it's been around. But yeah, man. I started way back in the day. I was singing with even before that. Before Jodeci came along, Lil Cedric and the Haley Singers, I was there. I was a part
Right.
of that situation, and um, when they went to
And I
do.
think we've talked. I think we've mentioned in the past. Those are my cousins.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Casey
Okay.
and
Cool.
JoJo and Fantasia and
There you go. There you
yeah,
go. There you go. There you go. So obviously, what I'm saying, that's another strong link for us because those are my people for real, you know what I mean? So we're not blood related, but you know what I'm saying, they
right,
just as tight. But yeah, man, so it goes back to that, man. Started out, doing what I was doing in the church, singing quartet, and Casey and JoJo and myself. I was in their gospel group, and then they formalized Jodeci and, was going up to New York. I missed that trip and put my own group together, with some of my people from around the way. My brother was one of them. And we formed Undercover. And, went to New York, cut a couple demos, had an opportunity through the producer that we linked up with to get a spot on New Jersey Drive soundtrack. And from that, we had multiple deal offers, that came to the table, from Atlantic Records to Tommy Boy Records to Uptown Records. And
to be on
chose.
Tommy Boy, man, like, I mean, you just think of like the people who have been, a part of Tommy Boy, and I
Hmm.
mean, Above the Law, like so many people.
Oh yeah,
When you think back over the years, like
Queen
what
Latifah,
what, what
Naughty
was
by Nature.
right, right, and I'm like the Naughty by Natures and the Queen Latifahs, and yeah, it's like so many people, so many legends, like people that we look back at now, and it's like, damn, like I guess what was the thought? I guess what was the thought process like of you being on that label? Like, where did that sit in your mind? And then obviously being a part of New Jersey Drive, which like that's obviously is major and is monumental, but like for that to kind of be like your first really foray into into the industry and whatnot, and to be featured like that, like was it like a I made it, like a sense of
Of
I made it,
course,
or
of course. I mean, of course. I mean, we came from nothing close to that. You know what I mean? To being on with Biggie Smalls, Outkast, Total. You know what I mean? All those
right,
people that's on fire at that particular time. And then, like I said, on the same label mates with Naughty by Nature. Queen Latifah, getting up in the parties, rolling up in there with those people. And so of course, man, what I'm saying, success was, within our grasp, in
right,
our,
right,
you know what I mean? And and that was quite an accomplishment, man. But there was so much more work to be done, and I didn't realize it that early on
yeah,
because you know because once you get a record deal, like, what I mean, you made it. You know what I mean? Back then, that was the mindset. But
right.
it took so many more years, man, to really to get my feet solid. Get on a solid foundation and stuff, man. Because
But
that
but
group
just
that I
look
was,
at where you are now.
yeah,
Like look at where you are now, considering getting signed to a major label and doing that at that time, and to be in this position where you are now, where you pretty much run your own career, like independent,
absolutely,
and putting your own projects out there. Like so many artists are in that place where they want to be able to put their own material out and it be successful.
yeah,
Because I mean, let's face it, you could put an album out,
yeah.
but the question is that album gonna sell, or are people gonna really take to it
That's right.
and gravitate to it?
That's
Like
right.
like you're in a place where you're doing it. Like you don't need the majors. Like you're doing it.
Right. 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 Well, it was a lot of growth, man. It was a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. And I learned a lot. It don't happen overnight. At this point, I put out commercially 8 albums. Okay,
Right.
I got another ninth album that I'm in the studio working on now. Um, but man, over those course of the what 20 plus years, man. I mean, I put out 8 albums, man, but I got enough music for 20 albums. You feel me?
We talked a little bit about that last time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you know what I mean. And then, but you got to, it's the music business, man. But the business should have been business music. You know what I mean, instead of the
Right.
music,
Right.
because a lot of people get it twisted and they put the music before the business, and then what I'm saying, the music get lost because the business will swallow it up because they don't understand the business. You know,
Right.
and so I put at some point in the game, man, I started putting just as much energy into learning the business as I did into the music. You know what I mean? I didn't cheat the music, but at the same time, I
Right.
still focused on what the business was all about behind it.
What has what do you think has kept you motivated? Like through all of this time? Because I would imagine, like you talk about learning the business and all of obviously the lessons that you go through and that, that come your way. But I would imagine that there have kind of been like I won't say a lot, but there's definitely been some disappointing moments where, maybe you encountered or you crossed the wrong people and, XYZ happened or whatever the case may be. Just, I think we all go through those ups and downs, like in our careers and whatnot, where we kind of hit that point where it's like, okay, why am I doing this? Or is it really worth me doing it? So like, what has kept you motivated and, kind of in that spirit for 25 years, 26 years, where you're still doing it and again, able to do it and be successful because it's not cheap to put an album out.
No.
So obviously what it takes for you to get that album out and then to actually fully promote it and market it and make it sell and like what has kept you kind of moving forward?
Well, look, man, like you said, there's been a lot of setbacks, delays, disappointments along the way. It's all a part of the game, because we come in having our expectations are super high. Like I said, once you get a deal, to perception in your mind from that point is that you have made it, but you're a long way from making it. And you made
Right.
a step. And but I think the number one thing that kept me motivated, that keeps me motivated above anything, man, is my love for the game. And what I'm saying, just wanting to do more. I want to get further, down the road. And the things that you're passionate about, man. And I'm passionate about my music, man, and making music that people can, they can relate to, that helps people through their journey in life, on this love train or whatever, because that's what I focus on, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I think when we come along, man, we should make the world, so to speak, a little better place than it was before we came
Yeah,
along.
for
I
sure.
mean,
For sure.
ability to ourselves and to people and to our talents and our gifts that's given to us, man. And so I knew that early on that once I got a taste of it, man, when Love Slave came out, people really loved that song. And then I had the opportunity to work with a lot of other artists, Chico DeBarge, Angie Stone,
Man,
Malik.
I feel like every conversation we have, I bring up like the collaborations that you've done with Angie Stone, and
Right.
I think that you two make like and like you make an amazing duo just as far as putting music out there,
Yeah.
almost kind of reminiscent of what I think that Avant and Kiki Wyatt do, like when
Right.
they put tracks
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just think y'all are perfect together, and like your voices really blend and marry together. Just in terms of the overall finished product.
Hmm. For sure, man. For sure. Angie was definitely, one of those people that I learned a lot from her too. She taught me a lot of business as well because she had been in the game way longer than me, and she kind of
Hmm.
took me up under her wing, so to speak. And we we had an instant connection and stuff, man. And so I was able to grow from that relationship, and yeah, man. Like I said, but being what motivated me the most, man, is just being able to do what it is that I love to do, and be able to make a living at it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And get people to understand who Calvin Richardson is, because I am today's keeper of yesterday's soul music. I feel like if I hadn't came on when I did, I don't think soul music would be in the place that it is today.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like we need you far more than you probably could ever know, man. Like the
Appreciate that.
music that you put out there, like is really keeping soul and R&B music alive.
Yes.
And I mean that sincerely.
Uh,
Like I think that what you do is really keeping the genre alive, and giving us more hope that there's gonna obviously gonna be more, and it'll continue.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I see now, a lot of people, man. I see a lot of kids, a lot of artists or whatever on YouTube singing Calvin Richardson stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
Like what does that feel like?
oh man, it's amazing. I mean, it's great. because they are the future. Like that means, you know what I'm saying, that I'll be, you know, the music will live on beyond this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If I stop today, you know what I'm saying, I know tomorrow they'll still be listening to my music. Somewhere somebody will be singing a Calvin Richardson song, dancing
Right.
to it, you know, have they created memories to it already that's gonna last a lifetime, you know what I mean? Beyond like I said, just making a song and putting it out, man, it's forgot about. You know, I'm fortunate and I'm blessed to be in the position that I'm in. I am who I am. Who I am. I've done what I've done, and I'm proud of every you know, every step along the way.
Right. Um, Obviously the last 2 years we've been, wrapped up in the middle of this pandemic. Like, how has that affected you, obviously, with your recording process and, being able to continue getting material out here and working, over the last 2 years?
Well, you know, like everybody else, man, you know, when it comes to the performance side of it, and everything came to a halt for like at least 6 months. I know I was sidelined for 6 months because, you know, the venues only allowed a certain amount of people in a venue at a time. They might, you know, you could have had a 1,000, 2,000 seat venue. They would only allow 50 people in a building at a time. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And so, you know, obviously promoters can't make money like that. You know what I mean? You know, with the tickets for artists to come in and perform. So we were sidelined, man, for 6 months. And as far as, you know, being creative and like, I think I got stifled, man. I couldn't see past where we were because I didn't know where we were. This was something new for everybody. You know what I mean? I
Right.
didn't know we'd be able to get back out there and get to work. And you know, I kind of got fixated on the television, CNN, watching, you know, this COVID thing, man, how it was running
Right.
so rampant. You know what I mean? So it had my mind, man, kind of, you know, kind of, I don't know, I was just in a crazy place, and I couldn't create. I didn't have no creative thoughts. You know, I just was trying to think of how we're gonna get out of where we are. You know, how we get beyond this. And you know, in August, man, of 2020, yeah, was it? Yeah, 2020, August. Um, I had a guy call. They opened up they would let us do shows outside. So this promoter called, and you know, he wanted me to headline his show, and to do it because people had been cooped up, they couldn't get out all this time or whatever. So I agreed to do it. We got out there, man, and like, wow, I mean, man, it was just thousands and thousands of people, man. Like it just went crazy, like, you know. And from that point on, man, it's like I just been wide open ever since. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Back to being able to reconnect with the fans. Although when I couldn't
Yeah.
get out connect with the fans, I started this platform called soulshowondemand.com. It was a
Okay.
web-based you know, live performance platform. So people would have to pay to see you perform, you know what I mean? So I put on a few shows there. You know, I hosted a couple other artists, Moneybag Yo, I did Sir Charles Jones, Omar Cunningham, um, Vic Allen, a lot of people. You know what I mean? So because
That's dope though.
yeah. I mean, we had to find a way to get back to our fans because the fans couldn't get
Right.
to us, couldn't get to them. So I had this platform created, man, and you know, so that we did well with that with a couple of shows. So like I said, I did a Moneybag Yo show. I did uh,
That's really dope. And it's funny you mentioned Moneybag Yo. I'm doing a podcast with my son called The Generation Gap, where we kind of bridge that gap between what he listens to music wise and what I listen to music
mhm,
wise. And
mhm.
his number one artist is Moneybag Yo. Like, he
Oh
would have
yeah.
loved to see that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. He would have loved to see that.
Yeah, man. So you know, we hired camera crews come in, man. Like it was nice, man. You know what I'm saying? It was real cool, you know. Um, you know, I did that for a minute, but okay, that was cool. The money, I made money on that. You know what I'm saying? Financially, it was
Yeah.
a cool, right? But there was still a void there because you know what I'm saying. I still wasn't connecting with the people. They still was no people there. The only thing you had was just cameras. You know what I mean?
But
And
do you like, but do you realize, like, and I feel you as far as, obviously there kind of still being a void, just in what you felt like you wanted to accomplish. But do you realize in your mind, even thinking about it right now, what you did for the industry, like by creating that platform? Like,
Oh,
do you
absolutely.
realize? Because I mean, like, I've always been like a fan and like I've always been somebody that's been big like on the virtual sense of, doing media and doing things, obviously like this and the virtual release parties. And
Right.
I
Right.
was like really big on that even before the pandemic came along.
Wow.
And one of the things that I've always wanted to do is like these face-to-face interviews like on Zoom or whatever platform you decide to use. I've
Right.
always wanted to do something like this just to be able to connect more, because you figure I've been doing media for 20 years, but a majority of what I've done is usually over the phone because I'm in
Right.
Cleveland.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, I'm only face to face with somebody if they're here in town, or
Yeah.
if I pick up and drive to Atlanta, or,
Yeah. Damn.
something like
Yeah.
that. Because my publicist is actually based in Atlanta. So
Okay.
sometimes I may go down there and do some stuff, but 75% of the time when I talk to somebody, it was over the phone.
Right.
So I've always wanted to do stuff like this where you can actually connect with them. I see them, they see me, and we can see interactions and facial expressions and that sort of thing. But nobody wanted to do that. Nobody felt like they had the time to do it. Whereas now it's like, shit, do a Zoom. Like, let's do a
Exactly.
Zoom.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think that that's cool. And you creating that platform, people like Erica Badu doing concerts in their yard and bubbles. And
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
that's stuff that I feel that it took the industry to another level. And it stepped outside of the box, to make something else out of it and
Yeah.
still make it so that you could get out here and make a living and live.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
regardless of what was going on, you still got to live.
You still got to live. That's right. That's
Right.
right. So, I was able to, like I said, created that opportunity for my my fellow artists to, make money. You know what I mean? And it was a good thing, man. But then, like I said, I was able to get back out there on started in August, man. And from there, man, like it's just been like it's just started rolling. Like somebody rolled the ball down the hill, and it's just been, just steady rolling ever since, man. I'm on every weekend. I got 2 or 3 shows. Um, Traveling all the time, man. I never
Okay.
get a chance to take time off.
Oh, okay. So the platform is still going.
It is. It's still the platform is still there, but we have not been hosting any shows. I haven't put any shows up probably
Okay.
within the past six months or whatever.
Okay.
Because simple fact, like I said, I got so busy, man, and it was a
Yeah.
production.
No, I get it.
And so I was
No,
like,
I.
one couple of shows that I didn't perform on, I was on there. I was like Don Cornelius used to be on Soul Train. You know what I'm saying? I was the host of the show. I was bringing the artists out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Calvin Richardson presents. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good. It was cool, man. It was a different feel, man. I really enjoyed it. But what I'm saying, at the end of the day, what I'm saying, like I said, the void that was there from having that real interaction with the fans, um, when that door opened up, man, like I got sucked back into that all the way.
Right. No, I think it's dope, man. I feel like I'm a part of this, man. I'm like we got to figure out a way to keep this going, man.
Yeah,
Because I feel like there's a lot of things that obviously have been created because of the pandemic
yeah,
that they're eventually gonna fade. Like
yeah.
like
That's true.
like look at the I just did the I do a lot of the virtual audiences for like some of the talk shows. So like I did Nick Cannon. Actually I've done that twice in the past couple of weeks. And I
Okay,
did Wendy. Actually I'm doing Wendy tomorrow. And I did Wendy last week.
okay,
So I do that kind of in my free time and whatnot. And I think that that's an amazing way, obviously, to keep it going and to kind of keep an audience there, even though it's virtually and you still have people and faces and whatnot. But, as they start letting people back in the studios, they stop doing the virtual piece of it. So
hmm
then it kind of cuts those people out who, want to be involved and they want to be part of it, but they're thousands of miles away and they can't necessarily get there. Like they are loving this time right now, even though, there's so much going on. So
right,
I just think in that sense, a lot of things are going to kind of fade that, we're able to do now, given, the circumstances. And I think that your platform like that's something that should keep going, man. Like it's something that definitely should keep going.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you, man. So I'm gonna start putting more energy there because like you said, there's a lot of people, man. And they people go live on my shows and stuff like that, but people don't know where to come. Like if they had that
Right.
one place to come, you know what I mean? They know on Soul Show on Demand, if you could be in Detroit, I could be, I don't know, man. I could be in, I don't know, I could be in Memphis, Tennessee, whatever,
Right.
doing a concert, whatever. You could be there. They could be there. They could pay, pay to get online. You know what I mean? Buy their
Right.
ticket, they can watch the show. You know what I mean? And feel like
Listen,
they're
man,
part of it.
I ain't wanted to work for nobody for the last 10 years, but listen, I'll apply, man. Like I
Okay.
uh,
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we'll
nah,
talk,
I
man,
think
for
that's
real.
I think it's super dope, man. Like kudos to you for doing that. I don't want to hold you up too much longer. I know you're in the middle of your session and whatnot, and you stepped out to be able to do this.
Yes.
Um, I know that you're coming on my show, the Entertainment Plug, on Saturday. So, do you have music, like new music that we'll be able to play on the show?
I don't have new music that you'll be able to play at this point. Everything is still on in the studio. You know what I mean?
That's all
So
right. You got 20 years of classics, man. So it's
I
cool.
got
We
20
got we got music to play.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you'll have enough music to play, but yeah, man. But hey, it's in the can. It's coming to be popping out soon, man. Hopefully, what I'm saying, I'll be able to do a new release get with you and do a new release on the show. So,
Listen, man, I
exclusive.
definitely, like I said, I've enjoyed, over, I would say, like the past 5, 6 years that I've been connecting with you for your projects and whatnot.
Right.
Like I love being able to do this, man. Like I've built out my own platform and I have it, in a sense now where when I bring people into the fold or bring artists into the fold, like there's multiple platforms that I can get you on and to help you promote your project. And like
Okay.
it's nothing in my heart. There's nothing more in my heart than the desire to be able to promote the artists that I love and
Oh
to
man, that's awesome.
help them get their material out there. So I appreciate you, man. I'm really
Okay.
really grateful. Again, that's what this was for. Was just to kind of give you those flowers and say thank you. I don't think we say thank you enough to people.
I mean,
And whether you realize it or not, like you've inspired me, but you inspire a lot of people, man. Like
yeah.
I'm pushing the way that I do in this industry because of the people like you that are putting this music out here that I love to hear all the time. So thank you, thank you,
Awesome.
thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for taking the time out. And then we'll talk again on Saturday.
Okay.
And we'll have some music to play. You'll kind of be at the end, closer to the end of the show, like the last 15-20 minutes of the show, because I actually got 3 guests coming on Saturday. But I love this media stuff, man. So thank you for doing what you do to help me have a job. So I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Oh man, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you allowing me to, sharing your platform with me, man. To get out there and speak to my people, man. Much respect.
Definitely, man.
All right.
And one last question. So your the platform that you have where you put on the shows, like, is there any way for people to go back and see any of those past shows?
It's soulshowondemand.com. Yes, they can go back and watch some of those shows. We still got some of them up
Okay.
there. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna get on there tonight and actually go back and watch some of the shows, man. I had no idea the platform was there, but I'm gonna get on there and actually go back and watch now.
Okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I appreciate you, my brother. I'll be talking to you Saturday.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, man. You have a good night.
All right, man. Good night.